Hey everyone, it's Morgan or SD Girl. I promised you guys that my next video would be about my disorder. So I decided that instead of doing this video later, I am going to do this now. While I'm wide awake and my mind is still just rambling with information. So I don't want to scare anyone about my disorder or anything like it's not contagious or anything like that. That looks like a very weird. My eyes are hurting. That's why I'm looking like the God Father or something. I don't know. I'm squinting. I'm squinting so much. Like, my eyes are just hurting. Anyways, very. Oh, okay. That's why. There's no cover on the thing, so it's just bare light bulbs hanging up there. Whew. Okay. Anyways, um, my disorder is. It's a mental disorder, I guess you'd call it. Psychological, mental health, whatever. I guess it's not just one disorder, it's multi ones. I mean, there's ones that just go together. I have, we'll go one by one here. Everybody knows what depression is, so I have to explain one. I have depression. I have OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. With that, I sometimes have to like hit things 3 times, or I have to do something with an even number. I'm not so much as to everything has to be clean, 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 clean. Um, it's more kind of a funny thing for my friends at least, because I will walk out the door and I'll reach. I'll try and do this from this. I'll have something that's like okay, we'll just like it's right here, and as I'm leaving, I'll touch it, and then I can't leave the house, and so I'll just quickly swipe, swipe, so it's I've hit it 3 times. You can't really notice it unless it's in high gear. Um, it used to be so bad to where I, for my when I was a senior in high school, it was really bad because just I couldn't go anywhere. I would freak out about certain things because okay, I'm letting you guys in on a little detail. So warning now, if you do not like gross things, exit or mute it, and I'll you know fast forward through this real fast. Um, I would have a fear that I would throw up or that I would get something. I would have. I'm trying to put it as nice as I can. I would have stomach aches and stuff, and I was afraid that I couldn't get to a bathroom fast enough. If it was peeing, if it was doing something else, throwing up, I was petrified because where I lived, you would go miles. Once you got outside of my town, depending on which direction you were going, if you were going towards the east, you had 20 miles before you hit like another town that you could go to the bathroom or anything else. The other direction, it was a few miles out, like maybe 2, 3 miles. But then after that, it was maybe like 30 miles. So it was really, a problem for me. I did conquer that. What ended up happening was when I was diagnosed with it, I don't do this, kids. Don't do this. I literally had I guess a note out of school, because it got so bad that I couldn't be in school the whole day, or, it was horrible my senior year. Plain and simple, it was horrible. Um, I mean, I won't get into the complete details, but it's prevented me from so much. And I had so much stuff that was going on my senior year that it was horrible. Um, so I was allowed to be out of school for a week. I was, my note was for 1 week off of school, and then I started going half days. So I could choose morning half or, after lunch half. So, but I conquered all that. Um, my I had, like I said, major depression, severe depression, OCD, and when I was 16, I was hospitalized for, they called it suicidal ideation. Okay, and basically what that meant was not just that I was suicidal, but it was more that the idea of it or anything like that pertaining to it was an interest to me, and they were fearful that it might happen. Um, I won't lie to you guys, I have been admitted to the mental unit. Um, in this last, since the beginning of the year, I was put in there by my own admission for 4 or 5 days. I admitted myself, and then my psychiatrist put me in there. I went in on a early, like 6 o'clock early on a Thursday, and then I was out on that following Monday. So I was in there for 4 days over the weekend. But yeah, that I think I got on that Monday. Anyways, doesn't matter. Um, and the one that I mainly want to talk about is um, apologize for saying almost so much. I don't have my notes up. It won't let me have my notes. That's why I'm having a little bit more of a problem. I have what's called borderline personality disorder. I'll say it one more time. Borderline personality disorder. And what it is, and some people will, if you'll look it up and you'll read it, you will say, oh, that's just bipolar. It's not. It's a completely different disorder. Pardon me. Um, what the main thing is, I see things in black and white. And I don't mean I don't see things in color. I mean, I have highs and I have lows. And I have them so dramatically that 1 minute I will be on my very, very highest, just ecstatic, and just half an hour later I am at the bottom. And the reason why it's different than bipolar, bipolar one has their manic phases where they're really, really high and like they have to do, some people have to shop, some people have to clean, some people have to, do different things. Or manic or depressive. I don't know the other word. I apologize. Um, but then they have their lows. It's and it takes them a while to get out of it. The reason why, and I am on meds for what I have. I'm not gonna tell you the names of my pills because that's too much. I have come a long, long way. Okay. Last May, so 2013 May, was the last time I was admitted into a hospital. And then I was doing so well. I wasn't admitted by anybody else or by myself, or I didn't go into any hospital situation for 11 months. So it was actually, for me, for almost, because it was very, very beginning, it was May 1st, and it was at the very end of last month in April that I admitted myself. So it was 11 months ish, 10.5 months ish, something like that. So I don't want you guys thinking that I'm some crazy lunatic or anything like that. I'm not. Um, with my bipolar, oh good lord, with my bipolar, with, instead of talking about bipolar, with my borderline personality disorder, when I say I see things in black and white, it just means that I can't find a mellow gray area. It's either good or it's bad. It's either evil or, you know, kind of like it's black or it's white. There's no gray. There's no middle ground. There's either a hill or it's flat land. There's no, having little tiny hills, kind of a thing. Oh, for me. So that was a really big issue. Um, like I said, last May, I last May was the last time I was admitted. Before April. So, but before that, I was so badly off for like a year and a half before that, that there were times when I was in what I call, what people who go into the mental institute around my area call 2 North. It's just the mental unit at one of the hospitals here. And it's not this horrible, horrible place for me. It restricts me. It's a place to keep me safe, plain and simple. But before that, I was in there. I remember it got so bad that I was in there 3 times in 1 month. I mean, it was horrible, and I was in there for 4 or 5 days. Um, it was just a really, really bad time, and I wasn't coping with what was happening with me very well. I I was on so many medications that it was no wonder why I just had a downfall. Um, I was on 5 different medications at that time, and then when May hit, I was sent down to the state institution, and it was just really, really bad. It was. I mean, for me, that was the worst possible scenario that could have happened. For me, because I didn't have family around. I didn't have anyone coming to see me. It was just, I wasn't around people. It was worse than being at home and having depressed days. All I did there was read and watch people who were probably 10 times worse than I actually was. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to scare anybody, out of anything. I'm just saying my own personal thing. For me, it was not a good thing. Um, it wasn't that the people or the staff wasn't nice, because they were. It was a horrible experience for me. So I literally was there for less than 24 hours. I got in there, and I was probably the most diligent person you would have ever met. at that time of my life. I'm saying this because when I say I was in there for less than 24 hours, I was supposed to see the counselor, the therapist, the head staff that day that I was there. Well, that didn't happen. So I was frightened that I wasn't going to get to see the therapist until the following. So I got there on a Friday. I was afraid I wasn't going to see them until Monday. And over that weekend, I had promised a little kid, not saying a little kid, but I promised one of my friend's kids that I was going to be at his birthday party. I promised him. And I felt like utter crap. And when I seen that therapist, I was lucky enough to see the therapist that next day. And I looked at her and I literally said, I want out of here. I would do anything. I know that I'm not in here because it was just one of those things where I didn't necessarily need help. I was just craving attention with it. And it wasn't, I know people are going to say, oh, I hate the person that cries wolf. It wasn't that. It was truly my disorder that I, a person with borderline personality disorder becomes addicted. It's just like an addict. They become addicted to attention. And they will do anything to get that attention. And when I say I did anything, I literally put my life in the wrong hands. When I say this, I mean I took pills that I took them just right to that amount that I knew I would be hurting a little bit, but I wasn't going to be dead. But I knew that they would have to admit me. Because anybody that has that problem with suicide, any pills are going to be admitted. So I played Russian roulette with that thing, and it was not a good thing. So, like I said, this incident happened, and the psychiatrist there literally looked at me and said, Morgan, I'll let you go this time. But if I see you again, if I see that you are coming to this institute again, I'm going to request that you be on my unit and you will not be leaving for a few months. You will be here a minimum of 3 months. Okay, that scared the living out of me. And on top of that, I felt horrible for putting this, not being able to keep this promise that I thought I was going to be able to have. So, pardon me. So, Meredith drove down there, and this is another thing that makes me feel like even more crap, okay? My girlfriend, Meredith, we were engaged at the time, but we weren't engaged. When I got down there, I called her I was constantly calling her. I was crying. I was everything. And she says, look, Morgan, and don't think anything ill of her. I mean, anybody would have left me, kind of thing. And I wouldn't have blamed her. But she had literally said, when I called her, I said, okay, come and get me. They're releasing me. She said, look, I will come and get you, but if this doesn't stop happening, you're going to have to go home. Meaning I'm going to have to go back to where my parents are at, back to my hometown, and I'm going to have to figure out whatever is wrong with me. She will still be there when I come back, and that was another fear of mine. And when I say I feel like crap for this, she literally went to work, got out of work early because I called her and said, come and get me. And when I said, come and get me, I was like 4 hours away. And she had to be there by a certain time, otherwise they wouldn't release me. They knew how far she was away, but they weren't going to release me. So I think it was, if she didn't get there by, I believe it was 6 o'clock, 6 or 7 o'clock, they weren't going to release me. And when I called her and said, come and get me, it was, I believe it was like at 2:30. And talk about cutting it close, right? It was 2 o'clock, I believe. And she had to connive her way out of work, which she got up, dealt with the day before with me crying and weeping and telling her I wanted to be home, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, I would never do this again, da da da. That whole song and dance that everybody, oh well, I'll bargain my way out of here, right? So she had to deal with that the day before. She had to deal with me calling her non-stop. Whenever I could hit that phone, I was calling her. So she was dealing with phone calls at 5:30 in the morning that day. She was dealing with me calling her when she, needed her sleep. Pardon me. You know, it was just a horrible situation for her. I think she went to work at like 10 that morning, and she had asked me, should I go into work? Because if you're gonna get out, I'm gonna be at work, and what do I do? And I clearly did not. I did not think I was gonna see that psychiatrist that day. Oh, momento, I need a little perspiration type of thing here. A little bit of fluid, please. One moment. It's good. Um, but, okay. I said go into work because obviously I'm not gonna get out of here. Well, that was a dumb move on me. So she got out of work and she had to rush down to where I was at and pick me up. And I was thinking, I was calling her while she was on the way there. Are you gonna get here? Are you gonna get here? Are you gonna get here? Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? No, I think she took a wrong turn, or something happened that I swore up and down she wasn't gonna be there on time. And she got there, I think it was 15 minutes before the time that they were not gonna release me anymore. And I got out of there and I was so flippin' happy because number one, I was out of there. Number two, I was gonna keep this promise to this boy. Okay. Three, I felt like crap for putting the person that I loved through this. Okay, bar none. It was the worst. Okay, and not only that, but she got there in 3.5 hours. Okay, or 3 hours. She flew to this place. I'm not kidding you. I don't know how the heck she got there. That's stinking fast. But she got there. I was so happy. I was ecstatic. But I was still at my lowest low with this because it was just so unbelievably ridiculous. I put this on everybody and it was my own thing. Completely my own. Well, I felt like crap because she had to drive back because the vehicle that we had, I could have driven, but I didn't actually sit behind the wheel. that well. And plus, I have this condition with my stupid eyes where I have what's called night blindness. So instead of when a car comes my way, instead of, staying right on the road where I'm at, I want to turn into them. Pardon me. I want to turn into them. And it's not like a mental condition, it's really with my eyes. My eyes are tricking me to go, okay, this is where I need to go. So she had to drive. We got to the hotel because the party was at a hotel. We were spending the whole weekend at a hotel. I got there and I was calling my friend over and over on the way there. Is he still awake? Is he still awake? Yes, he's still awake. I got there and I was so happy. I was just so, 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 so happy. And when I walked in there, I thought this boy was going to be ecstatic to see me. And to realize that it was like he could have taken it or leaving it made me feel like crap. Because I had literally, he wasn't impressed with anything because I had put him, his sister, his mother, I mean, everybody in his life, people that he cared about in his life through a living hell. He was just like, you know what, kind of a thing. Like, I really don't care. And it wasn't, it was truly everything that came together in that situation just was just the right mixture for me that I and don't do this. I do not recommend this to anybody. But after this happened, I stopped going to my therapist. I stopped going to my regular psychiatrist. I just didn't do anything. And you know what? When I did that, it was truly the break from everything that I needed. It was, I knew, and some of you know what this is, coping skills. Okay? When I felt like utter crap, I used my coping skills. When I felt like I needed attention, I vocalized it, saying, look, Meredith, this is the way I feel. I don't want you to go to work, but I know you have to go to work. I used YouTube. Oh my gosh. YouTube videos can be the best thing in the universe because they can also be the worst thing. Because I could find funny videos just that I could laugh at that would entertain me for an hour. So, with that situation, I did a whole new genre of things. I was out with my friends a lot more. At that time, I didn't have a swimsuit. So, right before this, we, right after I had gotten out, I went to like 2 sessions with my therapist. We found a site that had my size and I ordered it, and at this time when I quit going, I had a swimsuit, so my friends and I, we went out to the river 2, 3 times a week, maybe 4 times sometimes a week. Some of you might know what car races are, and on dirt, not on good pavement, on dirt. We went to those almost every single Friday. We had cookouts. I used my friends as my outlet like no other. Pardon me. And summertime just was the best. And I used my coping skills like I was supposed to. And when I started feeling, my coping skills truly are not helping anymore, and I truly need to get back on some type of medication, I actually went back to my psychiatrist, and he literally took me off of most of my meds. I am now on 2 meds, and one is for my anxiety, one is a mood stabilizer slash antidepressant. And he gave me the option to just have one, and that was my anxiety. And I said, you know what? No, because I don't want to go back to where I was. So I will take the antidepressant. I will take slash mood stabilizer. I will take it. And that goes back to why I actually ended up in the unit last month. In January, because I was doing so well, right? I thought I could go off of this cold turkey. It wasn't really helping me. I was doing all this by myself. Wrong. Okay? Completely wrong. I went off of it cold turkey, and I literally just hit my depression again. And it smacked me right in the face. And so he said, you know what? I'm really glad that you've not been in here. Way to go. You know, big round of applause for me, kind of thing. So when I went in there, he literally said, okay, let's put you back on your pills. Because I was still taking my anxiety pill, but that one wasn't helping me. So let's put me back on my mood stabilizer slash antidepressant, and let's keep me in there for a little while to get it in my system. That's truly what it was. I could have gone, it was just, I let everything pile up on me, and I was using my coping skills, but it was like, it was like this. I got back to my addiction state of, this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working, da 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 da. So I got back into that swing, but I am proud to say I only have been admitted once. I am starting to get those highs and lows again, but I am so thankful that it's about to be summer, because there's so much stuff that I have planned for the summer, and it's unbelievable. It really is. So that is pretty much what, it's like for me. Okay? I've told you pretty much my little life story. The other thing is, when I was 16, I was admitted into the same institution, the True North, and I spent one day there. And my psychiatrist at the time, they couldn't, they couldn't keep me at this institute because, once again, I'm letting you in on something that people really don't believe, but you know what, you're not, believe it or not, kind of a thing. I was at like 300 pounds at that time, and sorry, I'm selling something, and I was thinking that was one of my animals. Anyways, I was at 300 pounds, and I was bulimic. Okay. Now, you're probably going to say, how the hell you can't be bulimic? Okay. Here's the thing. When I was put into the institution, they said, we can't keep you here. We're not trained for bulimia. I was sent to the State Institute. Okay. And when I was underage, where I wasn't an adult, I was there for roughly 2 weeks, and I didn't want to leave. Okay. I didn't want to leave because I had friends around me. I had people around me. I loved it. Okay. So after I got out of there, I actually was like, okay, obviously eating and puking right away is not a good thing. Binging and purging is not a good thing. So I quit it. To this day though, that goes back to my OCD because I can cough the wrong way and I have such a quick gag reflex. That is, like I said, one of my fears with it. um, so I just shot up in my weight. In 2 years, I gained 50 pounds and just went up and up and up from there. And when I told, when I hit that 50-pound mark and the, and my, doctor had said, do you realize, I mean, since you were 16 to now you've gained this amount of weight? And I looked at him straight in the face and I said, no, I didn't know I gained that much weight, but I can tell you why. And he was knocking his rear end when I said I wasn't throwing up to lose weight. I was throwing up to maintain the weight that I was at. So it was, and also part of my life. Okay. So when I say to people that I can relate to a lot of things, this is what I mean. I have had my ups, my downs. There will be times when I will be on here, honey, and I will tell you guys, look, I'm not having a good day. And then midway during the video, I will say, you know what, I'm having a good day. And then at the end of it, I'll say, you know, I'm not having a good day. It is literally like whiplash. And I don't want to bring you guys along for that ride, but it's part of me and I want you guys to know it. So it's just the way it is. If I scare off with you guys, I apologize. If, some of you watch this and you realize, look, she's a real person and she's out there and she's willing to talk about this and you subscribe, great. You know what? If you want to learn more about this, what I have went through with it, you know, anything. My disorders have, for a long time, they just took control of my life that I can't get back. My depression took years. I mean, and when I say years, I don't mean years in chunks. I mean, it took a day here, a day there, a week here, a week there, And when I say, that's why I say years, add it up. I mean, I've been in therapy since I was in second grade. And if you figure that out, that is roughly 17 years of being in therapy. And my mom and I have a running joke that I probably know more about therapy than some of them do. Because I've been at it for so long. And it's not really a funny thing. It's just a way to kind of maybe try and laugh at it. But when I had said before, don't make fun of people who are bigger, we are just the same as you, I'm talking about myself. I believe the same way. And when I say, I wanted to stay in the institute when I was 16, I didn't get good things out of it because I learned how to self mutilate while I was in there. Before, I would have never thought of, a knife as being a way out, as hurting myself as being, okay, I'm seeing my pain instead of just feeling it. Here's the blood, here's the proof of why I'm in pain. That's another thing that I have. I'm an ex-cutter, and it's not really an ex-cutter. I'm a recovering cutter. You know what I mean? I'm so many things, and I'm sorry this is so stinking long. There's probably not going to be that many views of this, but this is my life, and take it or leave it. At this current moment, I am okay with who I am. So maybe later on I'm not. Maybe later on I'm fine. But, I am who I am. But I hope there are people out there who are like me, who will love a person no matter what, who sees the beauty in things that other people don't, maybe. I don't know how to explain it. But I hope this lets, I'm shedding a light on something maybe somebody else won't. But that's all I'm going to have to say about this. If you have any input on it or anything like that, comment below. If you are struggling with, any kind of disorder, hit the like button, comment below. Tell me your story, because I would love to know it. So, and at 42 minutes long, I hope that you all have enjoyed this. Probably the very few of you that have watched this all the way through. And if you have watched all the way through, 2 thumbs up for you. So, have a wonderful night, day, life, anything. Have a wonderful any day. Bye.